Here's a story that frustrates me to no end. Dems worry Trump is winning messaging war on economy. Think about how sad that is. Think about how sad that is. They're worried that the economy is doing so well that we're not going to do well in the next elections. You know what this means, right? This means the Democrats are insanely out of touch when they don't know how to make a counter argument to Donald Trump and the Republicans about the economy. So let me try to help the Democrats here and let them know what the reality of the situation is. First of all, have you heard of the term bubble? That's what we're in right now. We're in one giant overinflated bubble. So when you look at history, every single time there's been tax cuts for the rich and deregulation, which is exactly what we've seen the Trump administration do, there's what's called a boom-bust cycle. So everything takes off and, oh my God, the market is doing wonderful. By the way, the market is an indication of how rich people are doing. The market is not an indication of how your average Joe is doing. It's not even close to an indication of that. How do you not know this? How do you not know this? So we saw, tax cuts for the rich and deregulation in the 19-teens and the 1920s, and that led to the Great Depression. We saw during Reagan's years tax cuts for the rich and deregulation. When Reagan left office, we had a giant recession. We saw tax cuts for the rich and deregulation. The deregulation happened under Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Then you had the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession of 2008. Now we're seeing tax cuts for the rich and deregulation, and there will be another gigantic crash. The fundamentals of the economy are beyond fucked up. There's a million ways in which a crash can start. I mean, we have over $1 trillion in student loan debt. They can't file for bankruptcy on the student loan debt. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt. That's a massive problem. Wages have been stagnant since the 1980s. That's a gigantic problem. You have a totally unregulated derivatives market, which can burst at any point in time. You have a housing market where the bubble was reinflated. This isn't genuine growth. It's not like wages went up and so housing prices went back up. What you have is still stagnant wages. Wall Street swept in and bought up all those properties where everybody was foreclosed on, and then they're renting them out for a lot of money. The economy is in a horrendous place. Half of workers in America make $30,000 a year or less. Our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. Like I already said, from the 1980s, workers haven't had a raise. And the Democrats are so stupid, they haven't figured out how to counter-argue to Donald Trump on the economy. Well, here's a start. Your fucking tax bill, 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. 83%. Whatever increase in their paychecks that the American people are seeing right now, eventually their taxes are going to be raised under this bill. So you tax the working class, you wage a war on the middle class, it's class warfare, and you redistribute to the rich. It's a reverse Robin Hood. You're doing a reverse Robin Hood. All of these things I'm saying, the Democrats can say. They're not saying it. They're not saying, hey, Donald Trump, where's the minimum wage increase? I thought you cared about working people. Where's your pro-union bill? Where's card check? Where's your law banning right-to-work laws, because they're really right to work for less, where in right-to-work states, the workers make an average of about $1,000 to $1,500 less per year than in union states. Why are you waging a war on workers? There's so much that can be done. There's so much that can be said. We live in a world where the richest 6 people have more wealth than the bottom 50% of people. And the Democrats are like, well, I don't know. How are we supposed to fight back against Trump? He's so good on the economy. The unemployment rate is really low. Well, number one, the unemployment rate is not a good indicator of how well people are doing. Number two, the actual unemployment rate is like double what it is on paper. That's another thing they don't tell you, is the way that they count who's unemployed. You have to be unemployed for a while and looking for work, and there's all these requirements that make no sense. There's way more people who are actually unemployed. But on top of that, unemployment is not a great indicator of the health of the economy, because a lot of these jobs that have been created are low-wage jobs. They replace higher-paying jobs with lower-paying jobs, and the Democrats are so dumb, they're like, I don't know how to argue against a job that pays half of what this guy used to earn, because you're fucking idiots who don't believe anything. You don't believe in anything. You're paid by the same donors as the Republicans. You're paid by for-profit health insurance companies. You're paid by Wall Street. You're paid by Big Pharma. You're paid by the military-industrial complex. And then you're like, I don't know how to respond to this fucking reality star idiot who's totally unintelligent, and he's got the upper hand on you on messaging? I give up. I give up. I give up. If you don't know how to formulate a counter-argument to Donald Trump on an obviously fake economy that's in a giant bubble where half of workers make $30,000 a year or less, you're useless. You're useless. Why? You can even just talk about infrastructure. Our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. Why are you not out there saying the Democratic plan is to make our infrastructure an A+? We're going to do a New Deal, going to be jobs all across the country. We want to legalize marijuana. Hundreds of thousands of jobs to be created in that industry. There's so much you could say. There's so much you could do, but you don't know how to do any of it. They talk to Democratic strategists in here who are genuinely stumped. They're like, well, on the one hand, the unemployment rate came down under Obama. On the other hand, it's coming down more under Trump. That's how stupid you are. That's as far as your analysis goes. So your whole idea is we're going to continue to run on Obama's legacy. Why? Why would you run on the half-measure king's legacy? That's what he is. The king of the half-measure. Hey, I did some stuff that wasn't totally terrible for you, but on the other hand, I also outsourced your jobs and continued to sign free trade deals and still left 20 million people without health insurance. There's another one. The number one issue that Americans care about, poll after poll shows, healthcare. If I was a Democrat, if I was an elected politician who's a Democrat, you wouldn't be able to get me to shut up about the fact that 4 million people lost health insurance in Donald Trump's first year in office. I wouldn't shut up about it. You could ask me a question about anything. I'd be like, by the way, 4 million people lost their health insurance under Donald Trump's administration. Ask Donald Trump why he's cool with 4 million more people losing health insurance. Ask Donald Trump why he's cool with nearly 30 million people without health insurance. Ask him why he likes that. Ask him why he's okay with that. By the way, premiums are rising. Why are premiums rising and more people losing their health insurance? Aren't you going to fix this? We have an answer, Medicare for all. What's your answer? You have no answer. You're a puppet to Big Pharma, and you're a puppet to for-profit health insurance companies. The fact that you are struggling to respond in any way to this fucking clown tells me everything I need to know about you. Everything. Oh, all you care about is having your own grip on power. All you care about is climbing that ladder. You don't give a fuck about people. Because if you gave a fuck about people, you would know these facts that I'm telling you about the economy. You would know how income inequality is at a record high. We live in an economy with record income inequality, and these guys are like, I don't know, Trump's economy is really good, so I don't know how to argue against it. Listen, if there is an anti-Trump wave in the next elections, it's an accident. That's all it is. Because all you're doing is getting elected as a backlash. People go, it's not that I like the Democrats, I just don't like Trump. So then they vote for you, and then the Democrats will do nothing but sit around with their thumbs up their asses and act like they're geniuses. So either there's an anti-Trump backlash and nothing changes and the policies don't go in the right direction, or there's mixed results. One of those two things is going to happen. But either way, it's not good. You need a Democratic Party that stands for something and that's going to fight on issues that matter, but they're so stupid, they don't even know what those issues are that matter to regular people. Think about how sad that is.